Hello and welcome to Lovebug Tarot, and welcome back my tarot goblins. So we are doing the week ahead with our grid system. This is a Russian divination deck, so we do it in a big grid. I also pull an affirmation card, and then I get some clarification with a tarot deck and also some runes, both Celtic runes and Norse runes. So we'll be doing that. All right. Nothing fancy, we're just going to jump into it. So let's get our affirmation card. What is going on for the week ahead? No, this one. Okay. Okay, we're not going to need the tarot deck yet. But we are going to give it a quick shuffle and then put it over here. There we go. And we're going to tuck this over here because this whole area is going to be the grid. All right. We're going to shuffle like I am 12 because it is a smaller deck. There are 4 pictures per card that are cut in half. I'm going to slide that back in. So there's actually 50 images. But there's only, I don't know how many cards there are, but there's not enough to get like a good kind of that shuffle where you collapse the deck on itself. I'm sure there's a term for that. I don't know what it is. Listen, English is hard enough because we tend to just, I don't know, steal grammar and words from other languages and like then change it. It's weird. English is hard. English is weird and hard. So this is a Russian fortune-telling deck. And yeah, it is 4 pictures, as you saw. And we lay them out in a grid pattern. And then as pictures match up, I will mark it with one of the runes, which also kind of helps me do the read. And also helps me remember where the pictures are in the grid, because there's a lot of them. And depending, each picture has like a general meaning. However, depending on its orientation, upright, left or right, up, down, left or right, that too, that can change the meaning. Except for the last card. The last card, you read all of the pictures in their upright, their first position. There's 4 positions. So I use the book. Even though I've been using this deck for many, many, many years, there's just a lot going on. I'm usually pretty good with remembering like the general meaning of the picture, but for like which, it's the individual meaning for the picture depending on its orientation, like it's a little more tricky. Not to mention the book is very flowery in its language, so yeah, I do my best to kind of like interpret that. So we're going to give, because yeah, it's not a very thick deck, but that's okay. You get a little bang for your buck. Extra mile? I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, what's going on with our week ahead? Let's see. I tend to also, too far. Make sure this is, there we go. If I can set the first row correctly, then the rest of the grid should be pretty good. Oh, and my camera is, of course, tilted slightly, so we're going to do our best. So I tend to try to match as I go. Some people lay the whole grid out and then they look for pictures. I don't. I'm just different like that. I promise you, this is actually pretty straight. It's just my camera is tilted, so that's just how it's going to do, apparently. All right, let's see. Anything in the first row? We forgot our affirmation. Nope. Should we? Should we not? We'll do the affirmation card once we're done laying the grid. Sometimes little messages will pop up as I'm laying the grid down as things kind of match. Not always, but sometimes. Let's see. Nope, that's the sun. Those are opposites. they're not there. Let's see. Nope. And always at the end I try to take some extra time and like stare deeply into the deck and the grid and see if I can spot any, because I sometimes miss pictures. I'll always cut that out, but it never fails too. Sometimes I'm like, no, I found all of them, and then in the middle of the read I'll spot one and I'm like, oh. So if I don't get it at first, don't panic. I always look at it as I see the pictures I am meant to see. And I do my best to get them all. Nope, that's the castle. But sometimes I do miss one or two. Also making sure my camera is not freaking out as it has in the past. We turned off the autofocus, so hopefully that has corrected the problem. That was extremely annoying to find out in editing. If anybody watched my past reads, I definitely put in some gifs there about my current emotional state at that point. Spoilers, it wasn't great. I was so frustrated with that. All right, well, hopefully that is not a problem. All right, not much happening. And again, that's okay, because we always read the last card. Ooh, we got the Snakeu. Danger Noodle. Alright. Shake these up. Oh, we got two. And we have Ingus. That's been popping up quite a bit. And we have a Celtic rune for strength and endurance. Ooh. So Ingus is kind of like, I always see it as like a little seed rune. It's very earthy. Like a seed, growing, fertility, something growing. Anyways, all right. We're not at the read yet. Not yet. Is there going to be enough room on the bottom? Ah. All right, give me a sec. I'm gonna move the grid up. Okay, we're back. Should have enough. Yeah, should have enough room at the bottom. That's why the camera has to be back so far. Interesting. I don't get too many reads very often that don't have anything line up outside of the last card. Again, we'll take some time that I'll cut out where I try to find any that I might have missed. But, oh, it helps if you flip it over, jeez. You can mostly see that, okay. No? Yep. No, okay. Really interesting. That doesn't happen too often. Oh. Okay. Well, we have the snake and we have our forest here. Okay, for a moment I had like a handful. I was like, all right, 3. We can do 3. Righto. Okay, Gabbo. And the Celtic rune of peace and support. Alright, and then our last card is... Ooh, and in this one, we have the case where we do have a symbol line up with the last card. So the way this one works, in this case, is that I'll read it in this position, but then you also read it in the first position, where it's upright. So this is kind of a changing energy with the last card of what's going on. So I grab one. This one is Othilla. For this one, and then I'll grab one for... Oh, okay, for the rest. This is Awaz? Yeah, Awaz. There's an Ewaz and an Awaz. You know, not to make it confusing or anything. Okay, so I'm going to cut it here and stare deeply into this and see if I missed anything. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. I didn't see anything. Again, doesn't mean I won't suddenly, like, something pops up in front of me, because it does. But we are going to grab our affirmation card. Maybe this is going to be confirmation for something. Let's see. Ooh, the butterfly. Or fairy. Oh, fairy. All right, so the affirmation is, listen. You might doubt it'll happen, but what if it effing does? I love this deck. Okay, that is the vibe we're going with. I'm just going to put it right here, because for like the week ahead, there may not be anything happening kind of in the front of the week. Later in the week, though, it seems like things might pick up. Again, always take timing with a grain of salt. We're going to grab our book here, because our first one is The Snack. Our Danger Noodle, number 7. Okay. Ooh. Yes. The snake is a symbol for an attack by someone. In its first position, it means a verbal sting by a malicious person. Ooh. Okay. And with this one is strength and endurance. But also like the rune of fertility, of growth. I'm getting the sense that something happens in the beginning of the week. Again, you doubt it might happen, but what if it does? Like something happens that you just either were not expecting or you're like, that'll never happen. Whatever. But then it does. And it could be that your good fortune, something turning, something shifting for the better for you, maybe causes someone to be jealous and say something maybe they shouldn't. You know, in the heat of the moment, they let their own insecurities project and get the better of them. That is definitely something that we could be looking at. So let's get... But we, again, the 2 runes beside it. Because one is about fertility. So that's what I'm kind of getting the sense of. And then this one was for strength and endurance. So it's, again, a malicious... It's a verbal sting. So it's not a physical attack. It's someone says something. And, well, let's get some clarification. But I get the sense that you're just like, you can endure it. You're just like, okay, sure, Page of Cups. Let yourself be continually surprised by this thing called life. There's little phrases on the bottom of this. Again, the surprise. Like, you doubt something will happen, but what if it does? Again, I get the sense that something... Strength. It takes great strength to be soft. So whenever this happens, someone says something, they mouth off, they make a comment that's like super insensitive, it takes a lot more strength to then turn around and be gentle about it. To give them grace, give yourself grace too. You know, it's not to say that it doesn't hurt. You know, that whole thing like, oh, sticks and stones, but words can never hurt. No, words hurt. Words hurt a lot. Words can really, really sting you. But you can choose how you respond. You can react or respond. Let's see. Page of Wands. Just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean it'll be effortless. So this could be something where you've been working really hard. Again, you're like, oh, it'll never happen. And suddenly it does. And you've been working really hard on it. And it suddenly comes to fruition. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then someone says something really, you know, oh, I bet it just fell in your lap. You know, oh, is that, you know, did you even really work for that? And it's like, yeah, I worked for that. Temperance. Yeah, this is something, I don't want to say delicate. I just got the sense like with a snake, if you see a snake and they're kind of curled up, think of a rattlesnake, and they kind of shake their tail and they make that noise of a warning, like the best thing you can do is walk away. Just get away from the snake. You don't You don't have to go in and, you know, try to capture the snake and be like, why are you shaking your tail at me? You know, because the snake's going to lash out and bite you. The phrase here is let go of self-imposed limitations. So yeah, I get the sense that this is also talking about, you know, maybe you have a moment of self-doubt and you voice it. And again, someone says something really insensitive. You know, they just make an offhand comment and you're like, geez, do you even hear yourself? Like that kind of vibe. All right. We don't have too many today, so I'm gonna, can we get some maybe guidance on how to handle this situation? The moon. Yeah, take a time out. Take a breath. If it's something online, walk away for a minute before you respond. Don't react. There's other things happening beneath the surface with this person. And, you know, I don't want to say that's like not your business, because, you know, maybe it's not. You know, this could be someone close to you. You know, they could have a momentary lapse of logic. You know, they just like, they say it and then they're immediately like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, kind of thing. And instead of lashing out, take a moment, take a breather, go on the roof, journal, you know, write down your thoughts. But, you know, if it's a text message, if it's an email, take a moment to compose your thoughts, compose yourself before responding to this person. Okay. So we have the Forest, number 20. Let's see, Forest. There we go. In the first position. Ooh, all right. So the general meaning is the people around you. The meaning in its upright first position is continuous friendship with many worthwhile people, which is awesome. Wow. Okay, this one, yeah, peace and support. There's a lot of support surrounding you in this next journey of your life. Rytho is the, Ryto? Norse runes, I am not 100% how to pronounce them. I do my best. But it is the rune of journey, of movement and change. But like, yeah, because a journey brings change. It's movement. Gebo is a gift. You know, it's things coming together, a generosity, even like it can be partnership. It can be good fortune. So yeah, it's like what you doubt something but like something changes. Like I'm getting some really good energy off this card. Like you might doubt it'll happen. And again, temperance. Let go of the self-imposed limitations. Like have that that outlook of like, yeah, but what if it does? You have amazing support around you, and I get the sense like again, you have the forest here. A forest is huge. A snake is tiny. Don't let a tiny snake ruin your day because they said something nasty to you or insensitive when you have an entire forest supporting you. Which is like, heck yeah. Heck yeah, we love to see it. 3 of Cups. Yes. It says, come together with your coven. I love this card. But the 3 of Cups, it's celebration. You know, with friends. Again, we have 3 runes here. We have the 3 of Cups. There's reason to celebrate here. And take note of the people who celebrate you versus the people who perhaps put you down or get mad or get really snarky or sarcastic when you're like, hey, oh my God, this amazing thing happened. Take note of that. The Hermit. There are some things that must be done on your own. Yeah, this is something you've been working on. It's been a journey. Yeah, literally journey. You know, this is something that you've been working on, but now it's time to celebrate, I feel, with other people. Ace of Swords. It says, look at you, you're bursting with sparkly new ideas. Yeah, whatever is opening up for you is very, very exciting. Aces are kind of this upswell of energy. And the swords is like a mental air energy. So whatever this is, whatever happens, kind of opens these doors for you. And you're like, oh my gosh, possibilities are everywhere. All right, one last one. And the Knight of Pentacles. Slowly but surely, you're going places. Again, with the journey here. And Gable, the gift. Something, again, something... Can we have any idea of, like, what this is? Like, what maybe you thought, like, nah, never in a million years. But it does? Kind of what opens? Because the Knight of Pentacles is, like, this has been a slow and steady thing you've been working on. And you understand that it's going to be slow and steady going forward, too. But you're like... I feel like now things are really starting to move for you. Ooh, the Emperor. Being the authority of your own life comes with a lot of responsibility. Okay, so whatever's coming around is a big change. But, like, this is the Emperor. Number 4 in the Major Arcana. Like, it is a steady, stable energy coming towards you. It's an opportunity for material wealth. Absolutely. When life gives you lemons, make enchanted lemonade. So you've been doing your best. You've been doing the best you can with the resources you got. And from that, you've been making enchanted lemonade. And from enchanted lemonade, people are like, oh my God, I've never had enchanted lemonade. And now, you know, maybe you're moving into an enchanted lemonade business. Anyways, all right. So we do have the anchor. I'm going to read the anchor first in this orientation of its energy, and then as if it is shifted to its upright. And then we read all of these in their upright. 35, 35, 35. Boink. There we go. Ooh, okay. And again, we have Ophila here, which is the rune of inheritance, legacy, like, but physically, like your possessions. Okay. Because the anchor can be a stability or hindrance, depending on its orientation, depending on where it's facing. Ooh, okay. Remember we talked about, like, traveling, things moving, perhaps? So in the second position, its second orientation, which is, sorry, I'm dyslexic, the right, facing the right. It's fulfillment of hopes. Hold on. Freaking plane. Fulfillment of hopes. Success on the sea. Okay, let me look at this for a second because, again, this is success on the sea. It can be very flowery, and I'm like, Okay, so the book says success on the sea can literally mean that your good fortune has something to do with the sea, or it can mean that whatever you are involved with, you should pursue full steam ahead as it will turn out successfully. Okay. Gotcha. So whatever opportunity has opened up for you here, the cards are like, go for it. Full steam ahead. And maybe it is a journey. Maybe you are going near a body of water, over a body of water. Again, your situation is going to be very individual to you. Now, in its upright position, it means success in love. You are loved. So this is something I feel like you're very passionate about. It could be somewhere in here that, I don't know, I don't necessarily get a romantic sense. But going back to your forest here, your forest of people, your circle of people, the people who celebrate and lift you up, you're going to know that you're very loved as you move forward. And I get the sense of, like, take that. How do I phrase this? Always take that with you. So even if you are, let's say it is a journey, let's say there's a move, or you have to leave for a trip or something like that, know that wherever you go, there is a group of people that love you and care for you. You know, they celebrate you. So that is awesome. Okay, let's see. How can I do... This is like way in the corner. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to move this one to the middle. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so we've moved this a bit more to the center and kind of gave us more of a clear shot because I want to do a card. I need 4 cards, please. I'm going to read this. No, see that one. All right, there we go. All right, so now, again, reading this in the first position, which is you are loved, with Awaz, which is, again, like it's a rune of teamwork, of steady progress. This community here, I'm getting the sense of. Nine of Swords. Okay. The phrase here is, we all get a bit carried away with our worries sometimes. So if you're having doubts of, you know, if, let's say this, whatever this is, this move, this change, whatever is happening, it's like, oh man, but if I leave my group, my family, my people, if I have to leave them behind, is it going to be the same? Like, don't doubt that you have a solid, literal, solid anchor with these people, with this group. Absolutely. And that's a legitimate fear. You know, it's like if you move away from what's you've always known, your comfort zone, like that can be scary. So Nine of Swords, absolutely, like, legit feelings there. Ooh, and the Fish and the Empress. All right, so number 33. Ooh, number 35. So we just flip over here. Again with the ocean. The fish. Okay, that makes sense. So the fish, and it's the general symbol for material and or spiritual fortune. And in the upright position, in the first position, it's material, or I'm sorry, fortune, especially on the sea. So there could very much be a journey or something near a body of water or over a body of water. And with the Empress here, this could very much be a part of, like, the opportunity that opens up. And here, the phrase here is, there is beauty to be found in every experience. So in this, if there is a shift, if you do move, if you are physically moving or even like mentally making a big mental shift, know that, again, I just get the sense of like, you're loved. You're loved. You have a core group of people around you. The Empress is very nurturing. But also physical abundance here. There is physical abundance to be had with the Empress. And that could also mean, like, part of your worries could be like, man, I don't know how this is going to happen. You know, something amazing does happen, that opportunity opens up, and maybe there's some self-doubt that creeps in. You know, maybe what this person, or whatever happened here with, like, whatever was said, this malicious sting, this verbal insult, or whatever it is, maybe that creeps back in. And you're like, oh, what if they were right? And it's like, no, absolutely not. Listen to the people who lift you up. You know, listen to your people, not a stranger on the internet, not someone who, you know, is harboring jealousy or their own, you know, insecurities and trying to project them on other people. Listen to the people who have your back, 100%. And know that change can be scary, yes, but also can be beautiful. And I get the sense of, like, live in the moment. As this is happening, just take it in. You know, this person is nursing a baby, and they're just taking in the moment. You know, they're just there with the baby. Letting the baby do its thing. Just letting the baby do its thing. All right, so 45 is our pig. Our little piggy. There we go. So the pig is a symbol for earthly pleasures. So definitely things in the physical realm. In the first position, it means positively a prosperous and happy year. Ooh, okay. So this is shaping up whatever you're moving into. This is not a short-term thing. This is a long-term endeavor that definitely, I feel like, has an effect on your physical resources. And there's a steady progress to it, again, with Awaz. Let's see. Ooh, yep. Six of Pentacles. Every blessing you give will eventually be returned to you. So this next year, what you've been building up, the things, the seeds you've been planting, you know, the hard work you've been putting into something, that is coming back. That is coming to fruition. That's freaking awesome. All right, so 27. Almost done. Almost there. 27. The letter. Ooh, okay. So the symbol for the letter is news from a distance. Okay, seeing if that's coming in on the mic. I cannot help that we have some low-flying planes and jets around here, and it just... Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, we're back. Sometimes they flow so low that... Flow? Go with the flow? I don't know, but they flow so low that it shakes the house. Go with the flow. For some reason, again, we're talking about water, things, that might be something going with the flow. We were talking about being in the moment. All right, the letter. In the first position, its happiness will come to you from far away. So news from a distance. This again could go with like, you know, something happening, this part of this opportunity. It could be that if there's something maybe you've been trying to do that is far, like there's a distance between it, or maybe it's like an email, you know, you get news that's, you know, not necessarily from where you are physically, locally. Let's see. Ooh, and it's really good news. And again, dealing with the Empress, your prosperity, your physical resources, because this is the 10 of Pentacles. And it says, having it all looks different to everyone. So again, this could be something that you see as a success. It is a success to you. Maybe not to other people, and that is their problem, not yours. But to you, this is amazing news. And again, this is something that is shaping up to be a long-term, I don't want to say investment, but maybe in a way, because like you're clearly putting your time, your effort, your energy into it. But it's something that is definitely paying off and is going to grow. With the pig here and the 6 of Pentacles, it's going to grow from, like, again, finding a little coin in the couch here, this figure, to, you know, maybe having your own place with 10 cats. 10 cats here. Ah, I love it. Let me see if I can. Little 10 cats. Yep. Lean into it. When you do, just lean into it. That steady progress. Yeah, definitely a steady progress here. And it's interesting how this kind of mimics the cycle, perhaps, that you're moving into. You know, starting out a little uncertain, a little scared, leaving your comfort zone. You know, this person is kind of lying wide awake. A little clock here says 3 a.m. And then just going with it. Again, that phrase, going with the flow. Maybe making a big physical move. Maybe it's a trip or vacation. Maybe it's like one of those workcations kind of thing where you go someplace and you're like, you have to work, but you also get to just be in the moment. And what you put into this experience is what you will gain from it. And again, I think that's part of like the live in the moment. You know, don't let whatever jealousy, whatever was happening over here with this, whatever little snaku, don't let that derail you. Don't let that derail you, because you're moving into something amazing. And you're definitely going to be getting some news about it soon. Whoop. Let me just knock the whole thing over. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Cups. So the energy here, the phrase is, give yourself the compassion you were never given. So give yourself grace. You know, give yourself the compassion that this is a big move, maybe. Maybe it's a small move physically, but it's a big move mentally. Ooh, my wrist. It's a big move mentally. You know, there's something big shifting in your life. Give yourself compassion. Give yourself grace. Give yourself patience. Even if that's something you didn't have growing up or in the past, in whatever capacity, you are in charge now. You can give yourself what you need. You can be that person that, you know, your inner child needs. And that's lovely and beautiful and wonderful. You know? Yep. And don't forget your people, your forest. is going to be here to back you up. And your forest is also, I feel, the people that your inner child feels safe with. That's always been a good indicator for me. Anyways, if you vibed with any of this, you claim this read, or I don't know, you just like the grid, you like the vibes, please like and subscribe. There's a little bell icon to update you whenever I post something. We're doing 2 long reads each week and 2 shorts, and then I post behind the scenes content with little mini reads and going over like specific decks with Buy Me a Coffee. So we have a little membership area over there. So thank you for being here. I'm sending you so much love. Again, this little snakeu over here, you can absolutely get through this. You know, you got the strength card here. You have a beautiful soul, and you know, you don't have to let that snake bite affect you. You can take it in, you can see it for what it is. You know, you can see it for an insecure projection from another person, and take your time, walk away if you need to, and you can respond with much more grace and temperance than them. And know that everything else is going to be changing and shifting for the better. You are moving on to some amazing things, y'all. All right, so thank you so much for being here. Just big hugs. Big hugs. So until next time, take care of yourself, stay safe, and I love you, okay? Bye-bye.